I just wanted to go, oh, isn't it cute? I've never seen anyone with your energy. You're astonishing. Let me show you the wonders of old age.
Should we bring her in?
Let's do it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to What Women Binge.
Season 4.
Season 4, baby. We did it. We're in season 4. Like in a series sitcom world, this would be like, this is what we call syndication. This is when like the big money. Yeah, that's when like the big money rolls in on when you're on a TV show is season 4.
Don't be fooled. There's no big money in podcasting.
In podcasting. We're doing this for fun. But actually, on that note, if you guys want to help us out at all, to be able to share this with friends. Subscribing
share.
Helps us. Yes,
rate,
sharing.
Review.
Also, just, I mean, supporting our all of our advertisements, like just checking them out even, just clicking on their page.
That'd be great.
Taking advantage of the codes we give you guys out there. That really helps us. But really, what we want you to do is just listen in. So thanks for being here. And we're so excited about our guest today. But first, I want to tell you what I'm binging.
What are we binging?
It is football season. I'm binging football and matcha lattes. I'm not the pumpkin spice girl.
If the cicadas are singing,
exactly.
It is not pumpkin spice season.
Yeah. Speaking of cicadas, they've been ruining the movie I've been directing with our guest today. For those of you that can see me, I have a shirt of our guest today, who is one of the most spectacular women I've ever met.
Iconic.
Iconic. Like, I listened to her audiobook, which I highly recommend, in the car, like just to prepare for her voice and how she likes to work and, you know, just to know some of her stories. This woman is 90 years old and like
looks
as
better than
spry
me.
as a 6-year-old. I mean, she has like the brain power of like a 20-year-old like med student who working with her has been incredible. And you guys are going to get a taste of that today because you're going to get to spend some time with her too. But let me give you a proper introduction to our Miss Rita Moreno. Ready? Here's what I wrote. She's a rare breed of performer known as an EGOT. Do you know what that
right.
is?
Yeah, that's Emmy. Hang on. Emmy, Oscar, Tony.
And the G.
Grammy. Emmy,
Yep.
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
Yep. And not only that, she's a PGOT. She won a Peabody. She also got the Medal of Freedom from Obama. Was it Obama?
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was Obama. I mean, she and SAG Awards and dozens of others, right? She has tons of awards on her shelves. She started dancing when she was 9 years old. Her mom moved here from Puerto Rico to New York. And it's interesting, in her book, she describes it as like this colorful paradise of Puerto Rico to come to like the black and white version of New York City, like very like almost like going from like a beautiful paradise of like fruits and flavors and colors and sounds and smells to like New York, which it reminded me that I felt that way about New York when I was little. Now, of course, I adore New York. It's like my favorite place.
Right.
And I plan on like being an old lady there someday. But it's for her, it was like this kind of a black and white monochrome like prison, like just smelled bad and like loud sounds.
She must have gotten there during the summer.
Yeah, probably. Well, and she'd never seen snow before and all that stuff. Her book describes it really, really well. I mean, it's been 81 years since she moved here and started dancing, right? Is that insane? And you guys probably know her best for her Oscar-winning role as Anita in the original West Side Story, and she revised it recently in the latest Spielberg-directed version. So I'm directing someone, this made me very nervous. I'm directing this movie, Santa Bootcamp, for Lifetime, and the last person she worked with was Spielberg. I was like, no pressure, whatever. But not only that, she also was in The King and I, Singin' in the Rain. She's been on, her extensive time on The Great White Way on Broadway. She long-running shows like Oz and Jane the Virgin she played in. Oh, and then, of course, she did One Day at a Time recently, which a lot of people know her from. The younger generation probably knows her from One Day at a Time, the revamped version of that. She had a long and well-documented romance with Marlon Brando.
Wild.
And in order to try to make Marlon jealous, she tried to get with Elvis. She talks about it all in her book, you guys. It's insane. It's so fun.
Oh my gosh.
She's very open about all of it. She has powerful vocal cords, mesmerizing dance moves. Someone was listening to something of hers on YouTube the other day on set, and I was like, who's that? She was like, that's me. I was like, what? She's this tiny itty bitty woman.
It's me.
With this powerful voice. It's insane. She's a multi-hyphenate who stands the test of time like no one I've ever met. And directing her in Santa Bootcamp has been an absolute career highlight for me. So should we bring her in?
Let's do it.
Guys, this is Rita Moreno. Amanda, You know I love gifts.
Yes.
I love giving gifts.
I love giving and receiving gifts.
And we have gifts now to give and receive.
We have merchandise.
We have merchandise.
Say it louder for those in the back.
We've got merchandise. So you guys can check out What Women Binge merchandise now. Give it to your best friends. Give it to your 2-year-old. I don't know. Your
Grab it
niece.
for yourself and put it under the tree because we all know how this mom life works.
Teachers, mailman, exchange students, whoever you want to give it to. Just hand out our merch. Keep it for yourself if you want to. I'm going to share it with you, Amanda. Let's have matching merch.
Let's do it.
All right. And right now, you can find our merch where, Amanda?
On whatwomenbinge.com.
Whatwomenbinge.com. Check out our merch, y'all. Guys, we want to welcome into the studio Miss Rita Moreno. Woo! So excited you're here.
Let's hear it for the Spanish woman.
Oh my gosh. My favorite Puerto Rican.
Thank you.
Well, as you know, I loved your book.
Oh,
And I have loved working with you and just learning about you, your story.
We're having such a good time, aren't we?
We
are
really
having such a good time.
Yeah, we're shooting a movie called Santa Bootcamp for Lifetime that'll be out sometime around Thanksgiving.
It's a Christmas movie, right? And I've never done one, so I'm just thrilled to pieces. And I'm just going to tell you that you're going to love the way it looks.
Oh yeah.
If you don't even care about the story, stay with us because it looks gorgeous.
It does.
It's so ultra Christmassy. The costumes are wonderful.
The costumes are insane. Our friend Anna is building the costumes, and
She is something else. Wow, she's so talented.
she is. And the great thing is we worked together on like the vision for this film, which was so fun between production design and wardrobe and being able to pull a vision together like that. I haven't really been able to do that before.
Really?
And it was fun.
Great.
Especially your last outfit, which I don't want to spoil for everyone, but it's like
It's so good.
it's a Mr. and Mrs. Claus like you've never seen.
That's right.
It is. It's so
It is
fun.
spectacular.
My 9-year-old is obsessed with you, like madly in love with you.
So
you
is
have
mine. Riker left and he's like,
Is that
"Mom."
Tucker?
Tucker, who worked with you. Tucker's in the movie, you guys. So he's got
Right.
like 2 pages, and he's actually kind of good in it.
He did great.
He's kind of natural, which was a little
He
scary
is
and
a
wonderful.
natural.
I was so
But the
happy.
funny thing is to hear a young actor saying, "Mom," in the middle of a take,
it's the
she's
director.
telling
Why would I do
She's
that?
telling him what to do and all that while we're still rolling and saying, "Mom," and he turns into a 9-year-old.
And he said to me something like, "You have to stop saying," because I always go once more, one more time, one more time. And he's like, "Stop saying one more time. You have to say again." I'm like, "All right, I'll say again. Sorry." And he's right.
literal.
I say one more time
You
all
do.
the time.
Yeah, but we know what that means. We're
Yeah,
actors.
that's true. But it's so funny because I was thinking about he went home. Well, first on the stage before he knew that you played Belle. So your character's name is Belle, right? He knows Rita, but he didn't know that you were Belle. And so he sees in the script that he's supposed to be talking to Belle or about Belle. And he's like, I'm not going to do it unless Belle is here. Like, you need to get the actor in here so I can have a good eye line, so I know who you're talking about. I was like, oh my gosh,
Wait a
you little diva.
Seriously?
And I said, well, Miss Rita is resting right now. Oh, it's Rita? Okay, we will. Okay. You can just, all right, then she doesn't have to come out. I didn't know Rita was Belle. I'm like, okay. And then you come out and he is like goo-goo-eyed and talks about you all night. And we had to watch West Side Story that night. And we had to see all your dance numbers.
Seriously?
Yes. You have got a thing with the men, man.
You are
Always have.
enchanting. My son was only on set for like a few hours, and he came home. He told all his sisters, my husband, everyone who would listen about how enchanting you were. He was like, she was so funny. We laughed so hard.
Yeah, I'm very silly.
You are.
I'm a very, very mischievous person. Truly, I love mischief. So if I can possibly help it, I'm always cracking up or doing something stupid.
And like you relate on all levels. I love it. Wait, I want you to tell me about, so we're doing our movie and of course it's fantastic, but the one I'm really excited about that you have coming out is 80 for Brady.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that movie?
80 for Brady is Tom Brady's first production or project outside of football. And the funny thing about it, before I tell you my story, is that we had to change the ending when he decided to unretire.
Oh, yeah.
oh no.
So we had to rewrite the ending of the movie. It stars Jane Fonda, myself, Lily Tomlin, and Sally Field.
Oh,
What a
to be a
cast.
fly on the wall.
Is that amazing? I was amazed when they offered it to me. I said, "Really? With those ladies? Really?" And it's about, very briefly, it's about 4 old ladies. I mean, the baby of our group is Sally Struthers, who's 76. I am 90. And I believe that Jane is something like 82, something like that. Anyway, we're four old ladies who just love Tom Brady and football. And in a sense, it's sort of kind of a quasi-road movie on what happens when we're trying to go to Houston to attend a Super Bowl that we can't even afford. So, there's adventures on the road. But the story I want to tell you about me and Jane is that one day we were sitting there in the dark just waiting for a scene to start. And we were sitting outside of the set. And Jane looks at me and she says, Rita, you're 90, right? I said, yeah. And she said, how do you feel about sex? I mean, well, that's the kind of question that Jane would ask.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just very simple. How do you feel about sex? And I said, you mean the actual thing? She said, yeah. I said, ew. Oh, please. No. And then she said, I feel the same way. It's like it's over. I'm not interested. Not interested. Okay. Cut to a scene about 3 days later where we're supposed to enter they used a real locker room. And in that locker room is a Gronk. Is that his name?
Yep.
Danny, oh God, he's so gorgeous. Justin, that's the one I did the scene with. I have trouble with names.
Are they all Buccaneer? Do they all play with Tom Brady on his team?
Of course. That's why they were there. But they're pretty gorgeous, man. They're hefty and handsome. Danny is particularly just, I mean, that is a poke chop. So we enter, the four of us as the characters that we're playing, enter this locker room. I mean, I had no idea. And these four guys were all bare-chested because it's a locker room scene. And so is Tom Brady.
Oh.
But we've already met Tom. Not, I don't want to say but. It's like he's not exactly, he's not chopped liver, right?
No.
Either.
No.
Anyway, we enter, and to my absolute astonishment, I take one breath, and I go, oh my God. The pheromones.
All these naked men in the room.
I'm a 90-year-old
And suddenly
biddy.
you're ready to change your
I'm
tune.
a 90-year-old biddy, and I'm saying to myself, what is wrong with you, dirty old woman? Come on,
I love
stop it. But I swear to God,
You can appreciate.
I felt them pheromones. Put it in your kind of language. I felt them pheromones right down to my, place,
Jane
to
also?
my place of love.
Did Jane agree?
No, so here's the thing. So I do the scene with Justin Adelman, who is just a doll, and he's known for his beard. And we do this little scene where I'm doing this to his. I mean, she says, "I want to shave you." My character kind of loves men.
Well, that's pretty close
Her
to
name
home.
is Moira, and we did an improvisation. We made it up. The director said, "Just make something up." And boy, did I make it up.
Ooh.
In fact, the director at some point had to say, Rita.
Reel it in.
I said, okay, all right, okay, I understand. Anyway, so about 4 hours later, I run into Jane because she wasn't in those scenes. And I said, Jane, you remember the question you asked me the other day about sex? And she said, yeah. I said, I take it all back. And she said,
You would I would climb Gronk like a Christmas tree.
Well, that isn't what I had in mind, but that's pretty good.
Got Christmas on the brain.
The squid.
Yeah. Climbing up.
Tentacles.
Come here, my boy. Let me show you the wonders of old age.
I love it.
But isn't that crazy?
That's fun.
I mean, I had no idea that there was even a hint of that in me still.
that you could get the hormones
the
just
locker
tingling.
room.
And nobody had even said anything. It's not like anybody said
You just walked in and
anything.
you got,
I just took a breath and went, oh, God, oh, shit.
oh boy. Love it. I love it. I've been boy crazy my whole life. Sounds like you have too. Right? Boy crazy. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I've been married for 20 years and you had a very long, you were with Lenny for 46 years?
46 years, that's my husband. And Marlon Brando for 8.
8, yeah.
And Elvis for about 2 weeks.
That's I mentioned that because in your book, it's so fascinating to me, the whole thing how Marlon and you had this like tumultuous relationship, I guess you would say, right?
Yes. Crazy. It was crazy.
And so you were trying to make him jealous by going with Elvis?
Well, I got very angry one day because I found somebody's lingerie, the polite way to put it, in his house. I call it underwear, but never mind. Yeah. And I was really angry and hurt and all that kind of stuff. And I went home in tears. And I didn't understand that he was not the kind of man who would ever be faithful to anybody. Anyway, I went home and I was just weeping. And the very next day, I get this phone call. Hello, Miss Rita Moreno? I said, yes. I don't do the accent well, so forgive me. Yes. He said, this is Colonel Parker. He said, my client is Elvis Presley, and he saw you in the 20th Century Fox commissary the other day, and he liked what he saw. And he said, and I'm just googly-eyed, and he said, and he would like to meet you. Would you like to meet him? And I thought of that underwear. And I said, yes, I would.
I'd like to climb that like a tree.
Yes. Yes, I would. And this was the day before all of these social things, social networks and stuff. Nobody ever heard everything. So I dated him a few times, and it got into the gossip columns. I mean, it got into the gossip columns like that night.
Is that a time period when that used to be set up on purpose too? Like dates like that would be
sometimes, but this wasn't set up by anybody. This was
just Elvis liking you.
And Marlon heard about it, and he was furious. He's the one who had the ladies' underwear. You know how that goes. And he was furious, and he was throwing chairs.
Ooh.
It was wonderful.
So it worked.
But I love that in the book you also say Elvis wouldn't I forget how you said it.
He wouldn't do
the deed. Yeah.
He wouldn't do the deed, which was just fascinating to me.
What do we call
he
it?
Liked
Dry
to
hump?
move.
Grind.
Yeah, that's what he would do. And I thought, this is strange. I never had that experience before.
But you say in the book too, I think it's interesting because you mentioned that was it his Christian upbringing that he just wouldn't allow himself to go there, or was it a self inflicted
I have no idea.
No release thing? Yeah.
He obviously liked brunettes.
Yeah.
Because he ended up with this beautiful girl. Yeah. But that's what happened, and I thought, I'm not interested in it. Not only that, he was a simple boy.
You said he was very boring.
When we're I did. Which
sweet.
Was,
he's very sweet.
Was
and
not
that's
kind
people
of
don't
me.
know about
he
him.
He was sweet.
Yeah.
He was only boring because I was going with someone who was dynamic. I mean, this was the king of movies.
Yeah.
This was the king of music.
Yeah.
On one side, but the other one was the king of dynamism and stuff. Moody and all that. I mean, that sexy stuff.
Yeah.
So
you went for the opposite for a minute.
I found Elvis boring.
Yeah.
He wasn't boring. I was just bored by him because I had this other guy in my life who was constantly making trouble for me. And we had a sexual thing going that was ridiculous.
Well, I feel like at that age too, you kind of go for there's something called hybristophilia where you're attracted to the bad boy as opposed to
what is that called?
Hybristophilia. I'm writing a script about it. You can be in that movie too.
I want to be in that.
But yeah, it's about like being attracted to the bad boy. And like being like literally physically attracted to like men in prison, and like that's what hybristophilia particularly is. But like basically it's that whole like bad boy phenomenon,
bad boy.
A really bad boy. But like there is a thing about, especially when we're young and dumb, right? We're like into the bad boy more than we're into the good guy.
But I'll tell you something. Marlon was really a fascinating guy. He was insanely smart.
And you are as well,
smart.
So that makes a good match.
Well, I had street smarts because I'm not educated. I mean, I quit high school in the first year.
But you pick everything up so quickly, too.
But I'm one of those people who was able to pick up, so I am very street smart, and I'm very instinctive. And that's where he and I locked horns because I could read him like a bloody book. And he loved that about me.
Yeah, he liked that about you.
He loved that. It's like he was saying without saying, you know me. I can't do any bullshit with you. And it was true. I was so good at that. So it was, what a relation. It lasted on and off for about 8 years.
And then you were a big part of the civil rights movements and stuff too, as well, right?
Absolutely.
Because he was as well.
Big deal. Yeah. But that was before Marlon, actually. I started that way before Marlon. He helped me. He educated me somewhat with that kind of thing. But I started that before then.
Well, in your book about all the different roles things you were offered and jobs you would take and what you had to play and what you had to do and how, looking back on it now, like things like in The King and I, and
when I played the princess, Tuptim.
Yeah. And you were always playing like sort of the ethnic role in
Island Girls. I could only play people with dark skin.
Even though you're very fair skinned. Yeah.
I'm one of the fair-skinned Puerto Ricans, know. But this is what's fascinating about that. There's a lot that's fascinating. It was the name.
Oh.
Moreno.
Yeah.
Or as they would say, Merino. I remember my name was Rosa Dolores Alverio. Alverio was my real father's last name. And then I had 3 other stepfathers. And which also made me think, don't marry a Latino, whatever you do, because they will leave you. The truth is my mother left them.
Oh.
My mother was very undeveloped. She was really she didn't finish school. She was amazing, actually. But the casting director at MGM, that was my very first studio where I was under contract. And he called for me one day, took me into his office, and he says, we have to change your name. And I said, why? He said, honey, it's just too Italian.
You're like, well,
funny enough.
Moreno is Italian? And so he said, and he kept offering names that were so hideous. One was, he said with a big smile, oh, what about Orchid Montenegro?
What? Is that your alias when you stay at a hotel?
It should be.
I even as shy as I was and as compliant as I was, I thought, I'm going to have to live with this for the rest of my life. Yeah. I said, I don't think so. He said, who's your favorite actress? I said, Rita Hayworth. And he said, well, let's call you Rita Moreno, which is, of course, it's Moreno, as you said. And I didn't want to argue. I said, okay, that's fine. But I love that your name's too Italian.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah. So, so we have to talk to you about what you like. And by the way, guys, if you want to hear, all your stories are fantastic in the book. And I love the audiobook because I can hear you.
Yeah, do the accents.
Do the accents.
Stuff, right.
And of course I want to talk about Lenny though too. And your beautiful daughter, like your love affair, your 46-year love with your man. You ended up marrying, so you went through all these tumultuous relationships, but you ended up with a nice
man named Leonard
New York
Gordon, who was a doctor,
Jewish doctor.
Nice Jewish doctor. And when we decided that we really were a good pair, we let both families know. And it was hilarious. Both in the Bronx, the Jews and the Puerto Ricans. The Puerto Ricans are saying, ay, 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 ay. And the Jews are saying, ay, 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 ay. They were not happy. So I said to my mom, who was not thrilled, I said, I want you to meet Lenny. You will love him. And he really was a very gentle kind of man, very bright, very intelligent, all that kind of stuff, and a doctor. Mm-hmm. So I said to Mom, here's what we do. I want you to meet him because I know you're going to change your mind instantly. I said, let's have him come over to your apartment, and I'll be there, and we'll all just, make friends. Okay. So Lenny comes to the apartment, knocks on the door. Wait, I don't think she even had a doorbell. Knocks on the door. She opens the door, and he said, hello, she said, Jew are you? And he said, excuse me? Are Jew are you? That's all I want to know. And he said, Jess. Yes, I am. He actually said Jess.
Jess.
And he came in, and of course they made friends. He was funny. Oh, he had a great sense of humor, which to me is so important.
Yeah.
To me, sense of humor in a man is sexy.
Oh, yeah.
I really do. I believe that.
Yeah. That's what Elvis was probably missing.
That's what?
Elvis maybe didn't have a sense of humor.
I don't think so. Oh, he was too young, you know.
Sweet.
Yes.
I just want to pinch his
Hey,
cheeks
he was
now
a
with
boy.
your stories.
He was a boy. And I was already, you know, with Marlon, so I was pretty sophisticated at that point.
And Lenny held his own with you.
Lenny
won
was,
you.
and he, you know, I just had this feeling that he would take care of me. But here's the interesting thing, which I mention in my documentary, and it's so important for people to understand this. People, when they fall in love, more often than not, will collude with each other in this way. I would say to Lenny, but I never said it out loud. It was just understood. I would say, if you'll be my daddy, I will be your little girl, and you will take care of me for the rest of our lives. And his thing was, I will be your caretaker and your daddy, and we will live happily ever after. Until, that is, you want to suddenly grow up. And that doesn't work anymore. And that's when our marriage really started to disintegrate. Because I mean, he was also a kind of controlling man. We had, you read my book.
Yeah.
Remember the banana incident?
Oh, yeah.
How to peel a banana?
Yep. Yeah.
He actually said to me one day, I think I was cutting it. So I didn't have to deal with the peel and all that. And I just pulled the peel. He said, that's not the way to peel a banana. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you don't peel it with a knife. You know, you do this and that. We had a half-hour-long argument.
Yeah.
And it got worse and worse. And I finally said to him, are you listening to what you're saying? Are you hearing yourself? He really didn't understand. He had to have his way. You peel it this way. You know, it was bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah, there's those breaking points in every marriage. We had a fight about ketchup, my husband and I. I remember one of our first big fights.
What was that one?
I had gone to Costco. We were going to have a barbecue, and I had gone to Costco, and we'd gotten these huge, you know, you get like 2 in a pack of the big ketchups. And we had a refrigerator and a pantry, and I like mine in the fridge. And he, I don't know, in the South.
He likes it room temperature.
He likes it room temperature, which I didn't think it's a vegetable. It needs to go in the fridge. And we had 2 though. So I put one in each place. No.
No.
I didn't know that. But at the time, I had always had ketchup in the fridge, and I was like, I put it in the fridge, and he lost it on me. You don't put ketchup. Show me on the package where it says must refrigerate. Show me on the package. Why do you think at restaurants they leave it on the table? You don't have to put it in the fridge. And I took the bottle out of the fridge and hoisted it at him. I knew he was a football player and he'd catch that. But he caught it. I threw it right at his head. He caught it. And I said, I didn't know that when I took your last name, I had to take your condiment preferences too. And I threw it out. Then he picked me up and put me outside on top of the car and locked the door. So I crawled through the doggy door. It was like a funny fight.
Picked you up?
Picked me up because I'm like your size, right?
Yeah.
Like he picked me up and put me outside. He's giant. He put me on top of the car.
Marlon did that with me, and he put me in a cold shower.
Oh, really?
It was very sexy, actually. I mean, that's
I
how.
was gonna say that sounds like something that should be in a movie, like the hysterical woman, and he's just like, "I'm
Right.
done with
And he put me
you."
in and he held me, and then I'm screaming, and it turned into something else.
Oh,
No.
of course. Yeah, well, this became like,
Is that
me throwing the
crazy?
ketchup at him became like, yeah, it kind of did become hot in a way because it wasn't a real fight. We knew it was a stupid fight, you know? But yeah, I climbed through the doggy door. Like, I was like, oh, you can't keep me out. And I'm like climbing through the doggy door and stuff. And then we just started
You're
laughing.
trying to get through the doggy door? Did you get
Because he locked the
stuck?
door. He's like, you can stay out there if you.
They have giant dogs too.
Oh, yeah, it was a big doggy door. It was a big doggy door. I could get in that one. Yeah, no problem. I just knew. I was like, how am I going to get in the house?
People
I
can
know.
be so stupid
I know.
in their relationships. It's
Yeah.
not good. But on the other hand, he really was. It got to the point where he would be very worried if I was out of the house for more than a couple of hours. And if I had told him I was going to the beauty shop, he'd call me wherever I was.
Oh.
And that got.
This is Marlon or Lenny? Lenny.
No, this is Lenny.
Lenny would do that.
Lenny,
Yeah.
And actually, I now understand something that I really didn't occur to me then. I think he was going into a form of mild dementia
Oh,
because
okay.
he spent all day in the office. And in order to be with him, I would make him something he liked, and I would make him a big mug of tea because he loved his tea with honey and all that. And I would bring a tray down and do that kind of thing, and he would appreciate it, but he wouldn't leave the office. It was very sad.
Oh.
And I really didn't understand. Honest to God, I was so angry with him so much of the time.
But was that just a hurdle you had to overcome, and then you were able to?
It never got overcome.
Oh, really?
Oh, it got his dementia got worse. He was really, and I didn't think of it as that then.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't behaving in a crazy way, or saying weird
It's
things.
like small slips.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was very sad.
And tell us about your daughter. I know you're
Fernanda,
so proud of her.
oh my God,
Your grandson.
her name is Fernanda Luisa. It was Fernanda Luisa Gordon, and now it's Fernanda Luisa Fisher. She is the light of my life, except for the fact that she gave me 2 grandsons that I could just, inhale them. I adore them, and they know it too. Grammy, I need a blessing for him. I wonder if you could, all right.
You're the doting grandma. I always hear being a grandma is better than being a parent in a way.
It's terrific. Yeah, except you can't be with them all the time. And now they're really interesting.
Because they're in their 30s or the 20s?
No, they're 20s. They're 20s, yeah. The firstborn, it's Justin, who is so good looking. And he's 6 foot tall, and he has this kind of build, probably like your son.
Yeah.
He starts wide,
shape.
and then he's long and lean, and he's handsome. So, and the other one, who's the baby, he's 21, I believe, 22. He's finishing his last year of school at Boston U as a screenwriter, he hopes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's the intellectual.
Okay.
And the Justin, the firstborn, is the one with all the energy and stuff, the entrepreneur.
That he gets from you.
Grammy, I'm starting a little leisure suit thing. Can you help us out? So I'm involved in that, and
cool.
Soon we will be putting it on my Instagram and stuff.
What's the name of it?
It's called Shoulder because he's with an R instead of ER.
Okay.
And it's written down on it, and it's called that because he surfs.
Oh.
And there's something about shoulder that you do
Yeah.
when you're surfing.
Oh, very cool.
Well, that's what it's about. And his dad, my son-in-law, is a surfer too. So yeah.
And they all live in California normally when they're not in school.
The Justin now lives where he went to school, which is Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
He loves it there. It's a great place.
I love mountain towns. I'm a mountain girl.
And when he was in school, they had skiing all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, he's very good physically from the time he was tiny.
That's actually in Tahoe. In the wintertime, our kids used to get off school at halfway through Wednesday to go ski.
Oh yeah,
Ski day. Yeah.
do you ski?
So fun. I do. I love to ski. It's like my only hobby.
I'm so tall. That's a long way to fall down.
It is, but it's a long way when you're 5'2". I have news for you.
So we have to ask you what you're into. We talk about what people binge, and just, I mean, now that we know a little bit more about, all the inside stories of your work, we want to know, what do you love? Books, movies, podcasts. What are you into? What are you watching? What do you listen to? What do you inhale?
I listen to music all the time, and I listen to all kinds of music. I'm from another era, so I love Sinatra, Tony Bennett, those people, Rosemary Clooney. I love that music. And, I had a concert show for years and years and years where I sang and danced. In fact, Fernanda, my daughter, would dance with me, and we used to do America from West Side Story together.
Oh, really?
So she and I started when she was 16, we started doing theater work. And the very first thing we did, which was really a handful, was Shakespeare, Taming of the Shrew.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's my favorite.
Isn't that fun?
That's so fun.
And sexy, too.
Yeah.
It's sexy. And I remember it was so funny because I swore to myself that if we were going to do things together, I would not make her feel guilty about not having enough talent or whatever. We were just going to have fun together, and we did. And I did one smart thing. I would tell the cast of whatever production we were doing, I'd take them all by themselves before we started rehearsals, and I'd say, look, I'm aware that you're probably saying, yeah, well, it's her daughter. And I said, you know what? You're right. That's exactly what we're doing. And if she's not up to par, as she probably won't be, I hope you understand. But I hope you understand that I understand what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So everybody always respected that.
Put that out there. Yeah.
Yeah. But when we were doing the first thing, Taming of the Shrew, She was playing my nasty little sister. I was Katerina, and she was playing Bianca, the younger sister. And I swear to God, when she started talking about it, and it was thee and thou and this, that, I just wanted to go, oh, this is cute. I had to absolutely control myself because she was so cute. She may not have been great, but she sure was cute.
That's how I feel about Tucker in Santa Bootcamp. Like, I'm like, because he gets to these moments where I'm like, oh, I believe him. Like, I believe him for a second, and he's my baby boy again. Yeah.
And then we danced because she always wanted to be a dancer from the time she was a little girl. This was in New York. So she went to Ballantyne's ballet company for classes. So she got to be a really good dancer.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing her in a number of productions, particularly at Christmas when they did the Nutcracker Suite.
Oh, yeah.
And she'd be one of many little soldiers, with the little red cheeks and stuff. And she'd be watching. She'd be following the lead dancer, who would be the fairy of something or other.
The Sugar Plum Fairy or something.
Sugar Plum Fairy. And I would be trained only on Fernanda. And I'd see her watching that, saying, I want to do that someday.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
Oh, that's great.
And there was a great dancing class that I found out from Gwen Verdon, the Broadway musical star. She said, does your daughter dance? I said, she wants to. She said, before she goes to real dance class, take her to this place. And you know what it was? It was so smart. It was a place where little kids who wanted to dance but were really too young would go, and the teacher would say, okay, go across the room like you're a rubber band. No dance steps.
Yeah.
Or do this and that. Pretend you're a peach falling from a tree, whatever it was.
Oh, that's cute.
And
acting exercises.
But it gave them a sense of movement without sticking them with steps, which are too complicated when you're that young. She was 5.
Yeah.
She loved it. And if you got bored, you could go down the slide. They had a slide there.
Fun.
It was marvelous.
We have a slide here. Are you going to go on the slide here? I'm
Hell
kidding.
no.
I'm kidding.
It's pretty tricky.
Hell no. Even if it wasn't tricky. It's one flight up, isn't it?
It's actually
Technically like 2.
2. Yeah.
Oh, never.
It's a long slide. There's 5 turns. It was a poor decision on my part.
No, it was. You always say that. It's so cute.
I love
so
it.
cute.
I love that people can actually
It's a little.
do that.
It's a little scary. It's a little intimidating. Like
It's
I was
really
intimidated.
fast.
I mean, you'd
And I'm not
always
scared
know
of
when I
anything.
was on it because you'd hear, oh, Rita's on the thing
Can
again.
you imagine? Put Rita on the slide. You would never leave. You'd be on it over and over again. You just go up and down, and up and down.
You're probably right.
So we ask everyone certain questions, and you're our first guest of season 4. So
Oh, great.
we're going to ask you some new questions that nobody's ever heard before. Alrighty, let's see. I need my glasses because the eyes are
We all know
tired
about that,
today.
Yes.
If you could live life as any character in any book, show, or movie, who would you be?
What a wonderful question. I would be Dumbo's mommy.
Oh, that's so sad.
So heartbreaking.
That's so sad.
That I still can't see that. Remember when he's in the little jail
She's rocking
and she rocks him, she picks him up with her trunk
That
and
used to
she
be painted on
rocks
my
him?
kid's nursery wall.
I wept and I still weep.
I can't watch it.
Yeah. It's so brutal, actually. I watched it again when my son was born in 2006. Like maybe 2008, we watched it together. And I was like, everyone talks about Bambi being sad, but I'm sorry. Dumbo's
No,
the saddest.
Because they made fun of him with his big funny ears.
They lock her up.
Which was, a wonderful message. Because what it really meant was when someone's different,
be nice to them.
be nice to them. Be mindful of how they feel about
All the old bitty elephants are like nasty to him, right?
Yes. Oh,
and the
they're
little
all
boy
nasty.
pokes him with
They
the
make
stick.
fun of him.
Oh, they're awful.
Yeah.
They make fun of him
And then they
because
put him
he's
in
got
the-
the overly large ears.
Clown makeup. Like everybody's really, really mean to him except for the mouse. And even the mouse kind of uses them to be famous.
You and I think the same way.
Yeah.
I would be Dumbo's mommy.
But it's funny because at the very end, the last second of the movie, he's on the caboose, right? He's flying, holding mom's trunk. She's waving at him on the back. It's like the only time you see her out of trouble. Like she's.
I know.
That is a very sad one, Rita.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But it's a good one. I wouldn't have thought of that. If you had to pick a genre to describe your life, what would it be?
Well, name a genre because I don't know what you mean by
Well, there's
genre.
like horror,
Drama,
there's
comedy,
there's romance.
Romance.
I think
There's Christmas movies.
tragedy.
I think a genre, it would be
Like right now, what's
being
the
an
genre right
outlier,
now?
being an outsider.
Okay. So like
Because I
fish out of
spent
water
a good-
story?
Yeah, absolutely. I spent a lot of years being that.
Yeah.
Not my choice. But when you're a little, here's something interesting. When you're a child, you are way more tender than people think you are because you're loud and you can whine a lot. But people forget that children are very tender. And if you're told often enough that you're a spick or you're a garlic mouth or you don't have any value, you believe it because you're little, you're young. And you don't understand why you're not worthy, but you know that you are. And I remember I never shared that with my mom because I instinctively knew that there was nothing she could do about it.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, that makes
I had a lot
sense.
of that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I was Dumbo.
You were Dumbo. Oh. If you could choose any actor or actress to play you in your life story, who would you pick?
Nobody. I refuse it. I reject it. I don't want to be here when that happens.
Who would play Marlon?
Well, it could be Brad Cooper.
Oh.
I would say like Chris Hemsworth. Like a little like.
Well, Chris is too pretty.
Okay, that's what I was. But I thought Marlon.
Because Marlon
was rugged.
Marlon was fascinating.
Yeah.
He looked like a Roman coin, actually. But no.
What about like a Brad
It would have
Pitt?
to be somebody who's really essentially just has this wonderful magnetism. And there are actors like that right now.
Yeah. You're right. Bradley Cooper's a good choice. Oh, we wanted to tell you though, Amanda. You wanted to ask her about Evelyn Hugo.
Have you read Evelyn Hugo
It's a
yet?
book called The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
No. Is it
It reminds us of you. I was
It
listening to
is.
yours.
It's a novel, and it is
It's
fabulous.
so good.
And it's set in the 50s, 60s mostly.
Yeah. And I was reading it while I was listening to yours, and I was like, these are very similar.
So we want you to
Really?
read it to see
I will.
if you influenced Evelyn
who's
Hugo.
the book company?
The writer is
Publisher.
Taylor Reed Jenkins,
We'll
right?
send you a copy. I'll send
yeah,
it. I
or you
have
should
one at
do
home.
it on audiobook or something.
I'll get it to you tomorrow.
Fantastic.
Fabulous.
That sounds amazing.
It really reminds me of you because it's I forget where she's from. It's not, is she Mexican? Colombian? Something?
No.
She's from somewhere else.
Uh-huh.
She comes to the U.S. She becomes a big film star, is around all the big Hollywood people. She's in a remake of, like it's all
sounds like
all
a
fiction.
movie.
It's going to be.
I think it will be.
It will be soon. But
Yeah.
she hires a writer. She's later on in life, and she's hired a girl from a local like a tabloid magazine to write about her life. She's finally going to tell the secrets of her life. And she's had 7 husbands, and which
Oh,
one
I
is
can't
the
wait
true
to read
life?
this. Oh,
it's
yeah, which one's the
fabulous.
true love is kind of the digging out of, and it's like it just reminds me a lot of the flavors of like who she has to date and marry, and who she has to go out with, and just being a part of the Hollywood scene back then, and
Right.
she was always known to be in like emerald green.
She always
and-
wore green.
Yeah, and so it's really fascinating.
Wow.
But there's a few different stories unfolding, but you hear this whole Hollywood side of her.
Yeah, because my Hollywood story is sad. There was so many things. I just thought, wow, I'm on contract for MGM. I'm going to be a big star.
Oh yeah.
And they did all the great musicals then,
Right.
more than the other studios. And I thought, I can't believe my good luck. And it turned out to be something much less than that.
Yeah.
Remember the
Hollywood's
scene
funny.
in the book about when I fall off a cliff? I'm supposed to fall off a cliff, and there were. It's a scene where I'm so disappointed in my white lover
Oh yeah.
that I back away
Yeah.
and I fall off this cliff and land in water, and then the next thing you see is this character laying down, and the water laps like moving her, and the water was filled with thousands of little stinging jellyfish,
Oh.
the little ones. So they don't kill you, but they sting.
Oh.
And the director said, "What the hell is wrong with you? Stop moving. You're supposed to be dead." And I said, but this the stinging jellyfish. He says, "I don't care." He said, "I don't give a shit." He said, "You just do what you're supposed to do."
Oh wow.
Well, I was playing an Indian girl, and he was treating me like what he thought that kind of character was like. She's not supposed to have opinions.
Ugh.
And it was such an awakening.
You saw a lot of, yeah, you've seen a lot of change,
Oh, gosh, yes.
Especially in this industry.
Yeah.
Where it was so new in the beginning. I just have to ask you though, did you ever run into Shirley Temple? She's like my idol. So
No,
No?
I didn't. No. Wasn't she wonderful?
oh my gosh. Because I just like as starting out as a little girl and seeing her and going, she can sing, dance, and act.
That's
I want to
right.
be Shirley Temple.
And she was so beautiful.
Yeah.
She was
and then
so-
she gave like 21, she quit.
I know.
She was like, I'm done.
smart.
I'm done,
What
I'm
a
done.
smart thing to do.
We asked her to play my grandma on Sabrina.
Yeah.
And she was like, I think wrote or called someone and left a really lovely message about, I would love to, but I quit the business a long time ago. And if I say yes to you, I have to say yes to everyone
That's
else.
right.
And she
I'm sure
didn't
she
do it,
got
but she invited me to
constant-
her house. I got to go meet her, but I just wondered if you ever worked with her or anything.
Wow.
I got a Christmas card
Do you
from
remember her tap dancing with Bojangles?
Oh, of course.
Wasn't that the best
Of course,
scene?
the staircase scene, the first time
Yes.
an interracial couple held hands, right?
Yeah.
On
Yes,
film.
Right.
So, in Little Colonel, The Little Colonel, which is one of my favorites.
I mean, is that crazy? A black person and a little girl held hands and it made news.
And it made
Changed
big
the world.
news. Yeah, it was crazy. And it was her, apparently, according to her book, he was like, I don't like, that's not like, I don't want to upset anyone. I'm not going to do that. And
Right.
she just grabbed his hand and was like, let's go. And like, that's the thing about innocent little kids, right? And like,
Right.
I always loved that about her that like, I felt like she was,
Yeah.
she was like a little bit ahead of her time in a way of like just
Yeah.
being very passionate in her career, but then knowing when enough was enough. And it was like, I'm done.
I always thought that was so smart.
Yeah. And then when it's
Because
politics,
for one thing,
crazy.
that's right. But the thing is that, I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, that's an example of being 90.
Yeah. It's also, it's a random day when we're exhausted from work and whatnot.
No, I have no excuse. But thank you.
Well, I've seen you on set. You remember 10 pages of lines like no one I've ever seen, by the way.
That's hard.
Oh, and you've been,
When you're 90, that's hard.
but you just deliver like, I might see that you're struggling with a line, but the next time you say it, it's like, bam, the performance, like your face lights up. What did I say on set that confused you? I was like, you gave a performance and I was like, mic drop. And she's like, did the mic drop? I was like, oh no, I mean like mic drop. Like that's why you're Rita. Like,
And then I thought, oh, thank you.
oh, it was amazing. I was just like, every time I see her, I'm just like watching the monitor like, she just killed that line. It's like awesome. All right, back to the questions. What's the best TV theme song, in your opinion?
Oh, I loved the one from, I'm not going to say names because I can't remember them. But da 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 da.
Oh, Mary Tyler Moore? Is that? Oh no.
Is that Mary?
or
Turns the world on with her
she throws the hat in the air.
Yeah, that is
Takes
Mary-
on
that is
nothing
Mary
Is it Mary Tyler Moore?
and says
Yeah.
it
Okay.
makes it all
I
seem
love that.
That girl.
But it's you, girl, and you should know it.
How do-
You show it.
Yeah, good one. Back then, I loved that they used the theme songs to help explain the show, like to get.
And you know
into
what? I also love the theme song to the Alan Alda series. What was that? Dun, da, 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 da,
Mash,
da.
that's a great one too.
it. Such a good.
And I know the guy who I used to know the guy who wrote that. Yeah, Johnny. Gee, I can even remember
No, I
her
don't
first
know.
name. How about no?
I know, I'm kidding. Wait, speaking of MASH, your co-star who plays your Belle, and he's Chris, like Chris Kringle, and he's John Shuck was from the original MASH movie.
Oh,
Speaking of MASH,
That's right. That's right.
interesting.
okay, what's the hardest part of your job?
As an actor. Oh, I'll tell you, it's really not a difficult answer. The hardest part of my job is having to do a scene that's badly written and not being able to help it. And there's a lot of bad writing around, really a lot of bad writing around. And I try in my nice way to fix it a little bit. And the director will say, or the writer, if he's on the set, will say, no, I want it this way. And I just, I just have to swallow hard.
Yeah.
And this happens all the time. Well, you've seen those. Did you ever see that thing with Lily?
Lily Tomlin?
Lily Tomlin being told off and called horrible names by David O.
Oh, this was a little while ago, right?
Oh, yeah, but it's a famous thing because he was so mean to actors. Apparently he still is. David O.
Yeah.
David O. Russell.
And he
O.
called
Russell.
her David O. Russell. And he called her the C word.
Oh, yes. I do remember that.
And she's just, she was amazing. She just kept trying to defend herself. Well, like, I'm just trying to, he says, no, you.
Yeah.
And screaming at the top of it is a famous. What happened is that the cameraman, who was used to this at this point, on this particular film, whatever that was, just let the film go running, keep running.
Oh, yeah.
So they've done this a couple of times to him. I mean, apparently there was a scene with Chris, oh God, don't do names, Rita, please. Just a very famous actor. And I heard this. This may not be so. I want to be clear about this. But it makes sense to me that this guy said, okay, now do it in French.
Oh.
Say what? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the actor just went, I'm leaving. Let me know when you're,
Yeah.
when you're calm again.
Yeah. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, there's some.
But, I wonder, too, why is it that the man has never been reprimanded by Screen Actors Guild?
Oh. Still?
I don't know about it.
Oh, interesting. Oh, we'll dig into it.
Isn't that? I would love to find out.
Yeah. Is he still with us?
Screen Actors Guild and all this.
Are we sure he's still with
that
us?
actor abuse.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they
watch.
should get
I'm
into
going to
that.
hear from somebody.
No, we'll get it. We
They're going to
dive
show
into
up
that.
at my door.
Here's a fun one. Do you have a favorite joke?
Let me think. I love jokes. Yeah, but it involves an infirmity, and I can't do that.
Okay. You like dirty jokes is what we're getting here.
Oh, do I like dirty jokes? Well, if they're clever.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of dirty jokes that are just mostly dirty, and I'm going,
Yeah.
go away.
What is a movie, show, channel, or something that you turn on to tune out?
Well, I'll do the music station a lot. I'll do Pandora a lot. And I love Spanish guitar music.
Oh.
But from Spain, guitar music. I love that kind of music.
Do you still dance?
I move.
Yes, you do.
No, but I just barely. My knees are so shot from all those years of dancing. We abuse ourselves. Dancers are terrible.
You're like 60. I mean, the 30 years of
Well, I'm spry
you.
in some ways, but
are.
my knees are really, really.
Well,
really shot.
the other day on set, you were in heels for 8 hours, standing most of the time, and you didn't complain for a second.
Little heels.
But
I can
still.
wear little heels.
I'm 46 and I don't want to wear heels at all. Like I won't even wear my flip flops on set because I want good cushion.
I'm 36 and recovering from one night of heels last night.
Oh, yeah.
It will take me a week before
Did you use those very high ones?
No, I mean, I'm already tall, so I don't need a high heel, but just a little.
We're so out of
Yeah, well,
practice with it.
I love them, and I have a madness for shoes. My daughter said when she was a little girl, she says, I think I inherited the shoe genes from you. She's a little girl. And when I was giving them up, the heels, and I had great shoes because I'm a shoe maniac. And she said, you're giving them to the consignment store? I said, yeah, it breaks my heart, but, might as well make some money on it. She said, but why can't you just keep them? I said, why would I keep them? She said, well, you could look at them like in a museum.
Oh. My son actually understands that. He's a sneakerhead, my 14-year-old, and he has them in like acrylic boxes in his room
On
stacked
display.
with LED lights around them, a palm tree
Really?
between. Like he's decorated his room with his shoe collection that he won't wear because he doesn't want to crease them. But you wore some red shoes on the movie.
Yes,
Oh,
the
those
boots. Those
It was so
beautiful
cute. She's in
boots.
this fabulous outfit that Anna had made for her, but she goes, "But look at the shoes!" And you were so excited about your
they're
shoes.
gorgeous.
They were
The little
fantastic
heels.
shoes.
I can wear little heels.
Those are the red ones, right?
Yes,
Yes, I saw them.
Beautiful.
So gorgeous.
They were gorgeous.
Yeah.
If this week was a book title, what would it be?
We're going to work all night?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Then you need a picture. We're going to work the whole night when we're supposed to be sleeping?
I know. We're gonna do some night shoots this week. We're gonna be doing some night shoots. I'll get you out early, Rita. I'll put you in there early. I'll get you out
Better.
early.
I'm too old for that.
Oh, I understand. I am too.
No, you're not. I've never seen anyone with your energy. You're astonishing.
That's how I
She
feel about
does
you.
not stop.
Oh my
You do
gosh.
not stop.
It's amazing. No, she doesn't.
Never.
And you know what's
I'll rest
lovely
when I'm
about her
dead.
too as a director? She's very patient. You never ever feel judged by her. That's important.
Thank you.
Directors can be very mean.
Yeah. I know. And I think I wanted to direct for that.
Kind of sarcastic underneath it all. Yeah. And you're being disliked or criticized, but they don't come out with it because they're too chicken shit to just be honest about it.
Well, that's what I mean, first of all, you're not going to tell an EGOT,
No.
Hey, can you,
Well, I would tell an EGOT. I mean, if they're acting up, no.
But you
I
don't
wouldn't
act up. But like, I'll come to you when there's a line and I need a certain word in there or
Right.
something. We're missing something. And you'll be like, oh, great, fabulous. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And it's such a
Of
good
course.
collaboration with you. I love it.
Well, that's what it is, actually.
It really
acting
is. The whole thing.
is a collaboration between the writer and the director and the actor.
Yeah. Yeah. And for the director, it's with the actor, the AD, and the cinematographer. Right?
You have to explain AD to the public.
Oh, the AD is an assistant director, basically a stage manager.
That's right.
For those that don't understand. And then the cinematographer.
They do a lot of dirty work.
What's the saying? Who said the famous saying about like you don't sleep with the director, you sleep with the cinematographer?
To make you look beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what I do every movie I make. And when I first meet the cinematographer that first morning, I just say, no, I don't want to make you nervous, but I look my age, it's your ass.
You will never look your age.
No.
You're 30
No,
years.
but it's fun
That's
to
not
say
possible.
that. And of course, the crew loves that.
Yes.
I love to pick on the
funny.
cinematographer because the crew just.
But you have such a crush on our cinematographer, Ryan Galvin, who's
he's gorgeous.
incredible. He's gorgeous. He's sweet.
What's his nationality?
He's
He looks
Mexican.
very exotic. Oh, he's Mexican.
Yeah.
Wow, good looking guy.
He is. He's very sweet.
I didn't say sweet.
I
I said
good
good-looking.
And
I don't care if he's
sweet.
Dirty old lady,
Yep.
Rita Moreno.
Oh yeah. What is your go-to karaoke song?
I don't have one.
You don't do karaoke?
Oh.
Well, I think
Do you
we
sing
need
in
to.
the shower?
We're gonna need to.
All the time.
So what song do you sing in the shower?
Oh, well yeah, I do musicals. I do musicals, things from great musicals. My favorite birthday present for my daughter is, and we're going to repeat it this time, we did it 3 years ago, is to rent a car and go through New England and watch the leaves turning. While we're doing that, we're bellowing Broadway songs at the top of our lungs. And then stopping at Little Inns. We have
you
a
had to pick
travel
one.
agent book us in Little Inns and stuff.
What's one Broadway show that you would like?
God, I
love
think
to see again?
Evita's amazing.
I've never seen it on Broadway.
Oh, it's amazing. But also, it's a great one is Guys and Dolls.
Oh yeah.
And Marlon was doing it while we were going together.
Really?
He was playing Sky Masterson.
Oh, very cool.
And he had a little voice. Luck be a lady tonight. I thought,
Because you're boy crazy. Okay, last one. Last one for now. What is a line from a show or movie or book that you'll never forget?
well, that's a hard one for someone who's having trouble remembering names. What's a line I'll never forget? Oh. Smoke on your pipe and put that in. Dum 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 da 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 dum dum dum. I like to be in a. I thought it was very clever.
It was such a clever.
Smoke on your pipe and put that in.
That's great. And the whole song is so clever. Like
Oh, it's a
really
marvelous
brilliant.
song.
Yeah.
It's got barbs in it too. It's not meant to be just funny.
Well, and it still stands.
and it makes a statement.
It still stands. Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
it's.
now I want to go home and watch it.
I know. Tucker and I literally the other day, Tucker's like, I was like, she's in this amazing movie called West Side Story. And he's like, well, I need to watch that. And I was like, okay, we'll watch that number. And he was like, wow. And I was like, do you understand what's going on between the Puerto Ricans and the Italians and the whole, and he's like, what? And like, so yeah, just incredible. Incredible movie. Obviously, everybody knows it. So I just want to know, how many unanswered emails do you think you have in your phone? I know you didn't bring your phone in here,
You
but
know what? Not many, and I'll tell you why, because I never answer emails. So my daughter and a bunch of people said, do not email her unless you tell her 40 times in the text that you're emailing her, and tell her, once you think she's seen it, do it again anyway.
yeah.
Say there is an email
That's the trick, huh? I just have to stop
That's the
replying, and then
trick.
people won't email me anymore.
Well,
I
they
love it.
won't.
I think
Because if you don't answer,
mine's at. What's yours at, Amanda?
You don't want to know.
I know you're.
Oh, I wanna
I'm
know.
terrified right now. I'm terrified.
I'm at 8,351 right now.
out.
Oh my gosh,
You've
Amanda!
never seen them, or you don't erase
No,
them?
no, I see them.
I thought I
So
taught you better.
you
I'm
have,
ashamed.
but I've reverted to my.
I'm at 48. That's like the
comfortable
best
ways.
I've been in a long
So
time.
I actually do read them. I look through them all.
But you don't erase them.
I don't erase them, and if they.
How does your phone do that? Where does it get the cell energy?
I know.
So
to
they just sit there. But the
function.
ones like that I've read, are marked red now. So I know if they were important and I can file them. I've got little places.
Where were you when we first started this podcast in January? You were at like 22,000, or was it? No,
it was
92,000.
92,000.
92,000.
But I don't know. I didn't know that a phone could function that way.
I know.
Doesn't that use a lot of energy?
I think it goes to the cloud, and then it pulls it down when you get it.
And the cloud goes, not again.
Yeah, the cloud's like, please delete some of these.
Well, and we're down to 8,000 now because Melissa was like, delete them. So I just went through and marked everything.
She
as
marked
red.
everything red, which I think is cheating.
It is.
have to
And you
delete.
might be missing something astonishing,
Well, if there's
like
something
being the
astonishing-
heir to $1 million.
Oh, I would definitely know that. My dad's a plumber. That's not going to happen.
I feel like I need to like come over and hold your hand. We need to sit down, meet at the coffee shop, and we'll just like do a we'll
just
do a
need
little
you to love me for
tutorial
who
of.
I am.
I do love you for. I just feel like I don't want you to miss anything, Amanda.
I'm just a girl
You're
looking at her
blackmail-
best friend.
You're blackmailing
her
your
to
best
love
check her
friend.
emails.
You're
Oh.
blackmailing your friend. I just want to be loved.
Exactly. And I'm like, I'm just a girl sitting here looking at my best friend saying, please check your emails.
Okay, fine.
All right, so Amanda's going to ask you, we do these this or that, like rapid fire questions.
Yeah, they're just for funsies. Hero or villain?
Villain.
Okay. Plans or surprises?
Surprises.
Caffeine or alcohol?
Alcohol.
Chocolate or fruity?
Fruity.
Dress up or dress down?
Dress up.
This one is obvious. Introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert. Extrovert. La 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 extrovert.
That's why we get along so well.
I know, I love it. Fizzy or flat?
Fizzy.
Morning person or night owl?
Both, actually.
Really?
Depends if I'm working. It's got to be obviously. I have to be morning, but if I'm not working, it's night owl. I'm up
So
really
you're going to be
late.
fine with the night shoots this week, right?
No, because I have to remember words then.
Words at night is not easy for me.
No.
At any time.
No, and looking pretty. Like looking pretty late at night. It's just like, when you
Oh,
feel the
God.
bags and you start
You've
to
got
see-
all this crap on your face.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't like the way makeup feels.
I don't
This is
either.
why I've started directing. I don't have to do that.
Isn't
I can
that
wear whatever I
nice?
want. I can put on a little weight. I
But
can
you
not
know
get my
what?
hair done.
Before I go home, I have the makeup lady clean it all off my face.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
then puts hot towels on me,
Yeah.
which feels
A little spa
fabulous.
moment. Yeah.
Yes.
So you go home feeling refreshed. and
Yes.
Ready for bed.
And not only that, if you have to get up early the next morning and you're really getting home on the late side, you don't want to have to do this. You know how hard it is to take
Yeah.
off eye makeup?
Yes. It's
By
ridiculous.
the way, I know the thing that takes it off for real. I'll tell you. I don't remember the name. I don't remember the name.
You don't remember the name? Oh, real quick. Oh, wait, we're finishing the rapid fire questions.
Okay,
Then I have
got
one
two
other.
more. Righty or lefty?
Righty.
And staycation or vacation?
Vacation.
So wait, I wanted you to, you're obsessed with this. It's the cutest thing. Like at lunch, you're like, I need my milk. And then someone comes
That's
in with
right.
your milk. Tell us about this milk.
Okay, listen, I'm Puerto Rican, which means I'm Latina, and we have lactose problems the way the black community does. So rather than, drink real milk and start farting around somewhere,
On set with the
I
body
think it
microphone.
behooves me to save everybody and drink a plant milk. It's really very good for you.
It's the calcium level.
This one's made from peas. It doesn't have a milk taste, so don't expect that. But what it does have, 50% more calcium. And at my age, that's really, really important.
Yeah.
So if I take 4 glasses a day, I have my the amount of calcium that I need so that my bones don't get brittle. It also has no sugar. It has no sugar whatsoever. It looks beautiful. It looks very creamy. It's not.
Do you just like
and
shoot
it doesn't taste like milk. So, don't go calling me and saying, what the hell?
This is gross.
No. And it's not gross, but it certainly doesn't taste like milk.
Is it?
It tastes slightly synthetic, which it's not because it's really peas.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Peas, peas.
Do you add anything
And
to
it has omega. Oh, of course.
Oh, you put stuff
I
in
make
it.
shakes.
Oh, okay.
I put blueberries in it. I put omega-3 little seeds.
Okay.
I put fruit. Absolutely. But here, I'm not at home.
Yeah.
So I just take a...
You're just doing shots of it on set.
What I do is I get a straw and I'm
Yeah.
down. There.
Instead of shots of tequila, this one's doing shots of milk on set.
That's it. That's it. But it's really good stuff. I mean, it's good for you.
Well, look, I mean, if you're 90 going on 45, I am going to do
Whatever
you tell me to do. So
you won't.
I need to
Yes,
know.
I
Oh,
will.
yes. No, absolutely. I have been taking notes. Trust me. I've been watching you on set, and I think you need to share with us. The next book needs to be a longevity book, okay?
Oh, okay.
Can we get on that? And I cannot wait for 80 for Brady.
Can I give an exercise that is incredible
Yes,
for
please.
people who can't run, stuff like
Yeah.
that? This is amazing. I invented it. And in fact, my husband was so enthused about it, he wrote an article for it for, I think it was Vogue magazine years ago. And that is conducting music.
Oh,
But you do not conduct this way. You use your entire upper body and you will actually be out of...
Let's see.
Yeah, you'll be out of breath. Da, 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 ba-da,
Oh,
bum,
wow.
bum. You work so hard.
Yeah.
You get out of breath.
And it's like all these muscles down your
The
back.
whole upper
and-
body and your
Yeah.
lungs.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah,
you get
yeah.
out of breath. It really works. And he wrote a piece based on, if you've ever wondered why so many conductors lived a long life, particularly in the old days, it's because they use their entire upper body.
All right, so
I mean,
we're
you see
conducting.
them sweating.
You need to
See them
start this
sweating?
as like a chain of like a franchise across the country.
It's a one.
Move over, Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
It works. Well, I think I ruined my knees with those exercises.
With Jane's exercises.
It didn't help, and she as much as said, yeah, there were things that she really wasn't aware of.
Well, back then they didn't. Yeah, I feel like things have
At your
developed.
knees, there were things that really were hard on the knees.
Well, I remember going from sit-ups to crunches because all of a sudden sit-ups weren't good for you. Now we're back to sit-ups. Now my husband's a certified trainer, and he's been talking about knees over toes. There's a program.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do knees.
You
over-
weren't supposed to put your knees over your toes. Like if you do a lunge or something, you're supposed to keep your knees in line with your ankle. Now you should because you're losing mobility.
Oh,
so now
that's-
there's a whole mobility thing about like not if you don't put your knees over your toes,
Right.
you're not getting all the full movement. So now there's a whole thing about like, they always wanted you to stop like with like chest presses and stuff at a certain place. Now it's like, no, we need full
I
range.
put on Bruno. I love Bruno. I like Sinatra, but I also love Bruno. And he's got some insane salsa. And to do that, and you can bounce a little if you want to, but this really works. But be aware, this is not conducting.
It's got to be full.
The whole thing, and you'll find that you get tired so quickly.
It's like swimming in a way, like swimming without water, right?
Exactly.
Is that what? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So okay, milk, conducting,
and,
keep-
and water exercises.
keep
are
moving,
great.
water exercises.
Pushing water down
Yeah.
really gives you pectorals.
Well, and I know you also like for memory stuff. Like you're all about if you don't use it, you lose it, right? Like memory.
I do a lot of memory, little books and stuff, those little cheap books.
Yeah.
But what I do too is I write with my left hand. I'm right-handed.
Oh.
And I write pretty well now with my left hand.
Well, they say you're supposed to do
What's
things
your
like
brain?
to
What
activate
you're doing
parts
is
of the brain you don't usually use.
Yes, yes.
so when you brush your teeth with your right hand every day, now start to do it with your left, or like in the bathroom.
But
maybe
then
use
after
the left
you
to
do
wipe or
after
something
you do it
different.
with your left, do it with your right because you're not going to do well.
Yeah. That's
With your
actually,
left.
That's true. That's
They
true.
actually just my son is into fencing, like sword stuff, and they just changed him to a lefty.
Oh.
Wow, and he's not a lefty?
Yeah, well, so he's always been kind of ambidextrous.
Oh, yeah.
He could use both. And his coach saw with his footwork, he was like, is he left-handed? I was like, no, he writes with his right. And he's like, but his feet say otherwise. And I was like, huh. So they changed him to a lefty, and all of a sudden he's
This
like,
is a little bit of the dyslexia thing too, right? Like my kids,
Probably.
like Brady had a baseball mitt for both hands. Brady
Yeah.
couldn't figure out, and every different game he'd use a different mitt. Didn't know which hand to use.
Right. And also there's another thing that's terrific, but you really have to do it in an empty room where it's just wood. Walk backwards.
Oh.
That is hard to do.
Oh, okay.
But again, that's like writing with your left hand. It's making your brain do something that it's not used to.
It sends neurons like different pathways, or it opens up different pathways. I think.
Absolutely.
When we go walking in the park right across the street from where we're filming our movie. There's a giant park there, and we go walking there. But now we're gonna have to walk backwards because Rita.
And you know,
says-
I don't do it out, but if I do it outside, then I do it in a very clear space, and I have someone holding my hand.
yeah.
I mean, it's very dangerous.
I do it sometimes on the treadmill. I've done it on the treadmill
Right.
before, but it's probably not working the brain in the same way.
No, it's
So
not.
I need to get out there.
You
and do
have
that.
to make the effort.
Yeah. Oh, Rita, thank you for being here. I said earlier, you didn't get to hear me say it in my intro, but it has been a career highlight to work with you. I mean, top of the pickle on top of the cherry, the pickle, whatever. I like pickles. I like
Pickle on top of the
the
sandwich.
pickle on top of my chicken sandwich.
Me too. I love
It's been absolutely a blast to have you and
Well, I
to work
love,
with you.
You know, I'm a big talker.
Oh,
I
I
can
know.
go on for hours.
Well, you can come back tomorrow. You're here for another week, right? We'll do this every day. We'll just
That sounds great to me.
We'll move this to the set and we'll chat with Rita
This is
every
the
day.
best.
Thank you. Mwah. I
Mwah,
adore
mwah,
you.
mwah.
Mwah. Thank you guys for joining us here at What Women Binge.
Can you do us a favor and give us an Apple Podcast review? It helps a lot.
Yeah, and while you're at it, you can follow What Women Binge on Instagram.
And follow me on Instagram at Amanda WWB.
If you like listening to the podcast, you would love seeing it. So you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Melissa Joan Hart Official, for full episodes, bonus content, and so much more. What Women Binge is produced by Laugh-O-Gram Studios. Our wonderful theme song was written and produced by my cute husband, Mark Wilkerson. Video production by Matt Giesler and Jay Hawley. Audio by Matt Lott. Production assistant Jen Best. And she is the best. What Women Binge is distributed by Podcast Heat. For more information, visit podcastheat.com. Do you have a question or a comment or a topic you want to suggest for the show? Well, we are listening. Email us at wwbquestions@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.